Okay, let's unpack this. What if I told you Ripple, the company everyone links with XRP, is actually going through this, well, massive identity shift?
Yeah, it's really something. They seem to be moving strategically from being seen mainly as a payments innovator towards, well, potentially becoming a major XRP treasury company.
An XRP Treasury company.
Exactly. And what's fascinating, the CEO is actually pegging a lot of Ripple's value to something like a $100 billion XRP linked balance sheet. That's the core of our deep dive today, looking at this pivot, what it means, and kind of giving you the shortcut to understanding it all.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for me. Ripple controls, or maybe influences is the better word,
Mm.
a huge chunk of XRP supply.
Right, through that automated escrow system.
Exactly. It locks and releases XRP on a schedule. Predictable.
Yeah.
And you combine that massive holding with the big SEC ruling back in May 2025.
Oh, yeah. The one clarifying XRP isn't a security for secondary sales, a game changer.
Totally. And that ruling, plus the XRP, they hold, what is it, like 4.5 billion XRP directly, and influencing maybe 42% of the total supply through escrow. That's reshaping how we should think about Ripple, isn't it?
Absolutely. That regulatory clarity basically de-risked the asset in a huge way. It let Ripple really lean into using XRP as a core corporate asset. But, it's not just Ripple.
What do you mean?
Well, we're starting to see this new trend pop up. Other public companies are actually looking at, and some are adopting XRP for their own corporate treasuries.
Wow, okay. So using XRP like they might hold dollars or euros in reserve.
Sort of, yeah. Driven by its efficiency, sure, but also that newfound legal standing. Think about managing liquidity, maybe even hedging currency risk globally using a digital asset. It's a potentially fundamental
And
shift.
that's not the only play, right? There's also RLUSD, Ripple's stablecoin.
Right. Launched late 2024, and it's already shot past, what, $500 million in market cap.
Yeah, over $500 million. I mean, for a stablecoin that new, that's incredibly fast growth. What's driving that?
Well, a couple things. Market demand, obviously. But I think the really crucial piece here is the custody partnership with BNY Mellon.
Ah, BNY Mellon. Big traditional finance name.
Exactly. That anchors RLUSD firmly in the traditional finance world. It builds massive trust, especially for institutional clients who, let's face it, need that security and regulatory comfort. Ripple's aiming for RLUSD to be, quote, the most regulated stablecoin.
Okay, so they're going for a national banking license too, I read, to really capitalize on that stablecoin market, which people say could reach trillions.
That's the plan. It's a very clear strategy. Integrate deeply, don't just disrupt from the outside, build bridges.
Which brings up kind of a paradox, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Blockchain is often about decentralization, breaking away from control. But institutions, they like certainty. They like knowing who's accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So critics point to Ripple's influence over the XRP supply. How does that square with the idea of the XRP ledger being independent?
That's a really important tension to acknowledge. Look, Ripple does hold a lot of XRP, no question. But the XRP ledger itself, it runs on over 150 independent validators around the world. Ripple only controls one of those.
Only one out of 150 plus.
Right. So for institutions, what we might call managed decentralization, this blend of distributed tech with some predictability and accountability that can actually be a feature, not a bug.
Interesting. So it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Innovation plus stability.
Potentially, yeah. And think about it, that SEC ruling we talked about, it directly paved the way for U.S. spot XRP ETF filings from big players. That shows growing institutional comfort.
But it's not all smooth sailing, right? There are still hurdles.
Oh, definitely. A big one is how traditional banks have to treat crypto assets on their balance sheets for capital requirements. The current rules can be really tough, potentially creating this sort of double hit where they have to hold excessive capital against crypto assets.
Makes them hesitant to jump in with both feet, I imagine.
Understandably so. It discourages broader adoption if the capital treatment is too punitive.
So, pulling it all together, Ripple isn't just a tech firm building payment stuff anymore, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like a hybrid. It's strategically blending TradFi and blockchain.
That's a great way to put it, a hybrid, which I think leads us to a really important question for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay.
Does the future of digital assets really taking off, going mainstream, does it lie in the totally radical disruption, blowing up the old system? Or is it more likely to happen through this kind of thoughtful, regulated integration with the traditional financial systems we already have? Where do you think it's headed?